Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shakayla. I create and share delicious plant-based recipes and inspiration. If you are new here, that means you click this video because you are interested in incorporating more plant-based meals into your diet. I hope what you hear in this video encourages you to stay and also encourages you to click that subscribe button because I would love to have you in my little corner of the internet. And if you are returning and you just supporting your girl, but you also want to incorporate more plant-based meals as well, thank you so much for coming back to this video, for engaging with my content. Listen, I don't think y'all understand how much I appreciate y'all, so thank you so. I say this all the time, but thank you so much. Listen, it is a new year. 2023 is going to be great to all of us. I am claiming it now, and I hope you are standing in agreement with me because this year we are all going to show up. We're going to show out. We're going to do our best. And if that best is 100%, so be it. If that best is 40%, so be it. But that 40% is the 100% that we're giving at that time. Amen. Come on. So that was a whole sermon right there. Anyway, this week's video is I'm sharing some tips on how to transition to a plant-based diet that I know if I would have heard these tips from somebody else, and I think I saw them, piecemealed, like one tip here, one tip there. These are tips that would have helped me tremendously when I began my journey. And I know for a fact, if you are, whether it be you're transitioning to a vegan diet, a plant-based diet, or you just want to start eating more vegetables, I know that these tips are going to help you. So do not go anywhere. And before we get into the tips, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your post notifications so that you can be made aware every time I post a new video, which is typically every Sunday. So I feel like it would be obvious to start off with why I decided to go plant-based. So I've been plant-based for, oh my gosh, how many years? Has it been like 5 years? Which is really wild to think about, and to think that what the type of foods or the way that I used to eat is no longer how I eat today, and I'm happy about that. It just feels really good. And so I did share this in a previous video before, so I'll be sure to link that in the description box because I go into a lot more detail. But essentially at a high level, when we think about the type of foods that the American standard diet consists of, and then we think of the type of illnesses or different issues that many people face today, it is driven by the foods that we eat. Some of it, of course, is genetics and passed down, but it is rooted in the type of foods that we do eat. And because of that, oftentimes people will hear from doctors or nutritionists, so on and so be it, that they need to incorporate more plants into their diet. Not to say that I eat perfectly, but through research and hearing stories of how some doctors, it's either, hey, you need to eat more plants, or hey, let me prescribe you this pill to help you. I feel like if food is medicine and food is healing, that's what I need to prioritize. And no one had to tell me, hey, you need to do this. It was more so preventative. I heard enough stories, and I'm the type of person, listen, I don't want to live through it, okay? If I hear a story and I'm hearing that story over and over again, okay, you're following me. So it was just, hey, this is preventative. I know that, by eating this way, it will help heal my body. Like, it's not a 100% cure, but I know that this is what I can do to take the steps that I need to take to make sure that I am setting myself up in my temple and my body up for long-term health. But yeah, so that is the reason why I decided to go plant-based. And again, I do have a video. I'll pop it up here or link it in the description box so that you can go check it out. So this is a tip that I give literally every single person, and I even gave it to myself. Show yourself some grace while you are transitioning. I feel like there's nothing worse than, taking on, I feel like this can sometimes feel like a monumental, or just like a very heavy thing to take on, or to, start to adjust your lifestyle towards. And so I always say, show yourself some grace, okay? If you don't take away anything else from this video, and you decide to transition or start to incorporate more plants, just show yourself some grace. Be patient with yourself, because it is, we're used to a standard diet, and to completely change the way that we look at food and the type of foods that we eat, it's going to take practice. It's gonna take consistency and it will take time. So tip number one, be patient with yourself and show yourself some grace. Okay, and tip number two. So this is one that I feel like I have the most fun with. Is I try to think of, when I was transitioning, and to this day I still do this, but I try to think of foods or meals that I enjoyed prior to eating a plant-based diet. I think of those meals and I try to come up with ways to put a plant-based spin to it. Whether it be, I grew up eating fried chicken, mac and cheese, collard greens, all of that stuff. And so how can I take what I used to eat, but make it using plants? So I would recommend that you find at least like 10 meals today that you enjoy and identify ways that you can make them plant-based. Spaghetti, lasagna, you name it. I enjoyed it just like everybody else did. And so once I decided to transition to a plant-based diet, I had to think of ways that I could enjoy those foods, but a plant-based version of them. Because there is nothing worse than, starting this journey and literally all you're doing is sauteing vegetables and rice. Really? No, and nothing, listen, don't get me wrong, nothing is wrong with that. I would eat that today. But if you are changing your diet completely and then you just go from eating these type of foods to only eating sauteed vegetables and rice, like, you're not going to be satisfied. You may start to resent your experience. You're not going to have fun with it, and you may not be able to sustain it. So again, I would recommend finding at least like your favorite, maybe 5 to 10 meals that you enjoy today, and identify ways that you could put a plant-based spin to it. So if you like fried chicken, there are mushrooms that you can enjoy where you can fry them up. And I'll insert a clip here so you can see I've done this before, but I do fried oyster mushrooms. Baby girl ain't missing no meals, okay? It is so good. There's also vegan mac and cheese, but then you can also find ways to get full and satisfied from just, everyday vegetables, whether it be kale, sweet potatoes, quinoa, eggplant. Listen, you name it. The food is good. It is all about the seasoning. So I've made a lasagna before, plant-based lasagna, and I have it on my channel. And I'll be sure to link the recipe in the description box. But yeah, think of those 5 to 10 meals that you enjoy today that you can put a plant-based spin to it. The next tip I have, y'all, and I'm still learning this today because I recently started to do more meal prepping, but plan your meals out, okay? Because it is so easy. If you are sitting in the house, you don't plan your meals or meal prep. Let me back up. Plan meals out or meal prep. Identify what it is that you want to eat for that day, for the week. And sometimes that may be daunting, so it may just be good to keep like a few meals, prepare meals like in the fridge. When you don't feel like thinking, you don't feel like cooking, you can just have meals already prepped in the fridge, frozen meals or something like that. But yeah, plan those meals out, plan ahead so that when you are feeling like, oh, I don't want to cook, I don't want to eat this, you have meals in there that you hopefully that you cooked that you enjoy. For example, I know there are times where I don't feel like cooking. I am like, child, I just want to get some DoorDash, Uber Eats, something, just order food to go. But the other day I actually cooked up a big pot of chili and I froze it. So whenever I didn't feel like cooking, I could just whip out the chili, put it in the microwave, put it on the stove, and enjoy it. So plan those meals out, have meals prepped. It will help you on this journey, but also help save you some money so you're not spending a lot of money buying foods or even buying unnecessary ingredients for the week. Because listen, we're all about saving the coin, okay? So just make sure you're planning those meals out, whether it be, again, plan them out or prep them so you have some in the fridge or the freezer that are readily available when you are hungry. Okay, so the next tip that I have is to follow creators and recipe developers and bloggers who are eating the way that you want to eat today. They should be sharing inspiration that will in meals that will inspire you to get in the kitchen, to cook, to try out new ingredients, because that's how you're going to learn, by looking at others and seeing how they do it, or just doing some research online. You don't have to follow what anybody else is doing. However, I do believe that will help you. I know when I was first starting out my journey, that was something that helped me so much. I believe I have her cookbook over there, Janae Claiborne. Let me look up her last name. But Sweet Potato Soul. Listen, that was my go-to whenever I needed a quick recipe, something that I knew would taste good, because her meals always look delicious, okay? And she was one of those go-to creators. I would also say Rachel Ama, I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right, but she does a lot of whole foods, plant-based cooking, and everything looks so good. She was an inspiration to me. I'm trying to think who else. I would probably say those were the top two when I was first starting on my journey, just turning to Janae, so Sweet Potato Soul, as well as Rachel. And I'll put their names on the screen just in case I'm butchering it. But you know, follow those creators who are sharing meals that you would enjoy, in that, you know, their approach to cooking is similar, or an approach that you aspire to have. All right, and another tip that I have, keep it simple. Keep it simple, okay? You do not have to try to get in the kitchen when you are starting off on this journey and making a meal that consists of 20 ingredients. Keep it simple. Like for me, when I first started my journey, I would say like a chickpea tuna sandwich was my go-to. I make that all the time. Chickpea tuna was very easy. It lasts in the fridge. You can have that for lunch or dinner. Breakfast even if you wanted to. I love eating tofu, so I could do like tofu with like a sauce, some broccoli, and some rice, and I know I would be satisfied. Or quinoa, I know I would be satisfied. You can do like a chicken, you can still eat regular pasta, but I enjoy eating chickpea pasta. You can do like a chickpea pasta with like a spaghetti sauce. You know, try to keep things simple so that you don't get overwhelmed and it kind of, you know, hinders you or will discourage you from wanting to continue to cook that way. Keep it simple, that's it. Okay, and another tip that I have, I think I previously like kind of hinted towards it, but think about swaps that you enjoy today. So ingredients that you enjoy today that can easily be swapped out for a plant-based focused ingredient. For example, I know a lot of people enjoy cow's milk today. You can make almond milk, cashew milk, oat milk, hemp milk, the list goes on. Let's see what else. Instead of using butter, like dairy butter, you can use coconut oil, vegan butter. When it comes to meat, instead of eating meat, and listen, I am not one to tell you, ooh, I am eating this fried mushroom and it tastes just like chicken. I will never ever I will never ever ever tell you that, okay? Listen, I will never tell you that a fried mushroom tastes like fried chicken, okay? However, I will tell you that it is a very delicious alternative. Okay, if you just want that like crunch, that satisfying crunch, fried oyster mushrooms are where it's at. But when it comes to meat, you can always swap it out for, again, tofu, tempeh, seitan. You can use mushrooms. I love making portobello mushrooms and just like grilling them up and then putting a little gravy on it. That's a really good way to swap, you know, meat. You know, instead of using eggs, there are plant-based egg alternatives on the market, but say you don't want to consume those. If you're baking, you know, a good substitute for eggs in baking is applesauce. You can also use flaxseed egg, which is just milled flax seeds that you combine with water and it'll have like the consistency of an egg, but it's really good. I use it in my cornbread, okay, because I'm still eating cornbread, but I use it in my cornbread, which is really good. I enjoy making and eating parfaits, which consists of like fruit, yogurt, granola, nuts. And so instead of just eating a dairy yogurt, you can always use, there are plant-based yogurts in the marketplace that are made of almond milk, coconut milk, cashews as well. So just think about those alternative or those swaps that you can make for those everyday ingredients that you use today. And this is probably a tip that I should have led with, is make sure you consult or talk to your primary care doctor. I'm not saying that, hey, if you want to start incorporating more vegetables into your diet, that's something that you need to call up your primary care doctor to discuss, but I will say that whenever I have my annual exam, I get blood work done to make sure I'm not deficient in certain vitamins and nutrients, and that way, you know, if you are, you can start incorporating more foods that contain those vitamins and nutrients while you're on this journey. Or if you do like taking supplements, you can definitely use supplements, but there is a way to get the majority of those nutrients that we need through food. And that also leads me to the next one, which is protein. I know everybody says like, oh, how do you get protein on a vegan diet? I don't typically share this in my videos, but I do try to track how much protein I eat on a daily basis just to make sure that I'm getting enough. And there are people who may argue that you don't even need to prioritize protein, but as for me, I am going to. So I would say make sure you're getting enough protein, whether that be through tofu, tempeh, edamame. You can also do that through protein powders, hemp seeds. There's also protein in vegetables, which you may be surprised to realize, like kale, mushrooms, they have protein. Also your legumes, whether it be chickpeas, lentils, white beans, red beans, like the beans, legumes also have protein. I feel like I said this was only gonna be 5 tips, but now I have another. You don't have to jump into this cold turkey. My motto is, I'm not here to convert you. I'm here to make Meatless Mondays more fun. So if you have to start off by swapping 1 meal a day or 1 meal a week and making it plant-based, you know, slow and steady wins the race. You know, make this journey your journey. It's not one size fits all. You don't have to do what I do. You don't have to do what anybody else does. This is your experience, your journey. Take it slow, take it at the pace that you need to take it at so that it is sustainable for you. All right, and my last tip would be to have fun with this experience, okay? You do not want to start this journey and just hate it. Like you don't want to do that. You want to find joy in this journey. And so I would recommend, you know, just stepping outside of your comfort zone. Find a cooking class that maybe focus on plant-based or vegan food and do that. See if you like that meal, or find a vegetable that you've never tried before. Find a way to cook it. Think about back to your childhood or even today, a vegetable that you're not a fan of. I know some people hate Brussels sprouts, and I will tell you, I absolutely love those. I was not a fan in the past when I was younger because I found a way to cook them so that they are more appetizing. So again, have fun with it. You know, find restaurants that are near you that may offer plant-based meals. I have at least like 5 restaurants that are near me that I go to, and I know that I'm going to be so satisfied with the meals that they're providing. So that actually made it a lot more fun as well. So again, have fun with this experience. All the tips that I have in this video, again, I linked in the description box a video that I shared previously, one with more details on why I decided to transition to a plant-based diet. But then I also have another video where I share, I think I might have shared like 10 tips of how to transition as well. So I'll link those in the description box. But I really hope that this video was helpful. I have a playlist that shows how you can cook tofu in different type of ways. I have a video centered around breakfast ideas, a video centered around dinner ideas, lunch ideas. So many videos and resources here that you can take a look at. But I really hope that this video helps you on your journey. Again, show yourself some grace. This is your journey, nobody else's. And you can make small steps by swapping 1 meal a week, 1 meal a day, or you can go, you know, cold turkey and do this thing. I have recipes on my website. You can watch these videos and I promise you, you will be inspired. You'll be like, wow, I didn't even think to cook that. That was so easy and it looks so good. So again, be sure to check out my past videos. But Happy New Year. I wish you the best on your journey. I hope that you come back to my channel and you check out my videos for inspiration of meals that you can make for yourself, meals that you can make for your friends or even for your family. And yeah, I will see you next week.